Hello, this is Shinobi Bench. Today, I'd like to talk about how I wish I had known how to choose the right grip before I reached a 100 kilogram bench press. By the way, my current max is 162.5 kilograms, and I'm working towards 170 kilograms. To be honest, I hardly thought about my grip until I reached 100 kilograms. Looking back, I think that's why I injured my shoulders, wrists, elbows, and couldn't increase the weight effectively. It wasn't until I hit a plateau after surpassing 100 kilograms that I started thinking about my grip. I deeply regret not learning about it sooner. So, based on my own experience, I hope everyone watching this video will find a better grip style as early as possible. Just to clarify, this video is not about the correct grip. Grip methods are highly individual and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Even top lifters use completely opposite gripping styles. Of course, there are some shared fundamentals, but still, I myself still make major changes whenever I do a minor update. In this video, I want to introduce how to choose your grip, which I believe will help you find the one that works for you. Although the title says before 100 kilograms, I still use this method to choose my grip even now. If you find this video interesting, helpful, or you just want to support me, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Alright, let's get started. Today's topics are: should you keep your grip vertical or let it fall back? Where to place the bar, types of grips, the relationship between grip and injury. Should you keep your grip vertical or let it fall back? This is probably the most frequently discussed topic about grips. Should the wrist be vertical or laid back? To jump straight to the conclusion, laid back is likely the correct answer for the majority of people. To be more precise, it should look like it's laid back. Let's first look at why keeping the wrist vertical isn't ideal. The biggest reason is that it increases the risk of injury. When you grip the bar with your wrist vertical, the weight is concentrated on the base of your thumb. This might not be an issue with light weights, but with loads above 100 kilograms, your palm gets crushed and the base of the thumb can get injured due to excessive pressure. Next, let's talk about the effect on the shoulder. Try this. Extend your hand forward and begin to bend the wrist backward. Your elbow opens up and your shoulder lifts. This is called a kinetic chain. As I explained in my video, 7 bench press mistakes that cause shoulder injuries, a flared elbow position increases the risk of shoulder injury. On the other hand, if you lay your wrist back, your elbows will naturally come in. This encourages scapular retraction and downward rotation, which helps reduce shoulder injury risk. Some of you might be thinking, but I heard laying your wrist back too much causes wrist pain due to overextension. This is more about the bar placement, which we'll talk about next, where to place the bar. Let's think about where on your palm the bar should sit. To transfer force efficiently during the bench press, the bar should be placed where force can travel straight from the forearm. That means the bar should align directly above the forearm for minimal loss. To achieve this, the bar should sit somewhere in this area of your palm. When you grip it this way, the wrist will naturally appear to be laid back. On the other hand, if you place the bar too far toward the fingers, the distance between your upper arm and the bar increases, requiring more unnecessary force. Many claims that laying the wrist back causes pain stem from poor bar placement. Even if your wrist appears laid back, as long as the bar is placed near the base of your palm, excessive wrist extension can be avoided. To test where the pressure feels most natural, try putting your body weight onto a bar, or a steel bar, or something similar. You'll likely feel that your weight goes into the base of your palm, called the heel of the hand, not your fingers. Once you find that position, let's look at grip types. Types of grips. Next, let's talk about types of grips. The basic principles, keeping the wrist laid back and bar placement, stay the same. I'll introduce 3 common types, but these are not the only ones. You'll need to adjust them based on what works for you. Here are some criteria to judge if a grip suits you. No shoulder pain, no wrist pain, no elbow pain. Feels natural in the hand, can apply force in the bottom position. Feels natural might be more important than you think. If a grip doesn't meet these, then it probably isn't right for you at this stage. Especially if it causes pain in the shoulders or wrists, I recommend avoiding it, no matter how much force you can generate with it. Grip compatibility is also affected by bridge height, grip width, and scapular positioning, so choose carefully. Also, the key phrase is at this stage. As your form, arch, and flexibility improve, the grip that suits you may also change. So let's go over the 3 grip types. The V-shaped grip. First is the V-shaped grip. From your own perspective, your hands will look like they form a V shape. Here's how the bar and hand are positioned. This grip tends to make your elbows flare out, which increases the risk of shoulder injury. However, it also shortens the moment arm from the shoulder joint, meaning the bar tends to descend toward your head. The V-shaped grip causes internal shoulder rotation, which opens the elbows outward. While this does carry a risk of injury, if done within a safe range, it reduces the mechanical disadvantage. In other words, the moment arm from the shoulder to the bar is shorter, so there's less physical loss. As a result, shoulder flexion is reduced, and more emphasis is placed on horizontal adduction and adduction. Personally, I couldn't use the V-shaped grip up to 120 kilograms because it hurt my shoulders. But after improving my bridge and adjusting my grip width, it started working for me. Whether this grip works for you or not really depends on the individual. The reverse V-shaped grip. Next is the reverse V-shaped grip. From your perspective, your hands will look like they form an inverted V. Here's the hand and bar position. This grip tends to keep your elbows tucked in and increases the moment arm from the shoulder joint, meaning the bar tends to drift toward your belly. Because this grip involves external shoulder rotation, it naturally promotes scapular retraction and downward rotation. That's why it's often helpful in preventing shoulder injuries. However, since the moment arm becomes longer, the mechanical disadvantage increases compared to the V-shaped grip. I use this grip with a narrow width, up to about 110 to 120 kilograms. It didn't cause any impingement pain, but it placed a lot of stress on the anterior deltoid, and that limited my ability to push the weight. This is likely because shoulder flexion contributes more with this grip. Assuming the same bridge height, the longer moment arm of this grip favors people with shorter upper arms. That said, grip usability will vary depending on your arm length and arch height. The neutral grip. Lastly, the neutral grip. This is the midpoint between the V-shaped and reverse V-shaped grips. You simply grip the bar straight on, palms facing down. The elbow angle and moment arm are also moderate. This makes it a good starting point. You can adjust slightly toward either the V or reverse V style from here. That's it for the three grip types. Grip effectiveness will change based on form, scapular position, grip width, and bridge height. If your progress stalls, it's a good time to experiment with different grip styles. Grip and injury. Let's go over the relationship between grip and injury, which we've touched on several times already. First, if your V-shaped grip is too extreme, your elbows flare too much, increasing the risk of shoulder injury. Also, keeping your wrist vertical flares your elbows, again risking shoulder injury. These are common causes of bench press injuries, so be careful. Next is the relationship between grip width, grip type, and injury. When using a wide grip, be especially cautious. If you retract your scapula too much with a wide grip, your palm's outer edge may lift, making you support the bar only with the inner palm. This stresses the inner palm and the base of the thumb, causing injury, especially during rack-ups and at the top of the lift. I actually injured my palm when I switched to a wide grip. This is influenced by scapular positioning and arm length, so there's a lot of individual variability. To improve this, focus on pressing with the outer edge of your palm and adjust your scapula so that the entire palm contacts the bar. That's hard to do, hence why the wide grip is so tricky. One last point, if the grip direction and the elbow flaring direction don't match, it can cause injury to the shoulder or elbow. Many of you may have noticed this already, but the direction of the grip and elbow flare should match. V grip means flared elbows. Reverse V means tucked elbows. In other words, once you choose your grip, your elbow angle naturally follows. Forcing a mismatch will twist your arm unnaturally, leading to injury. The scapular angle also determines elbow angle, so in the end, the grip, elbow, and scapula should be aligned. If they're not, one of your shoulder, elbow, or wrist is likely to get injured. That's all for today's video. I'll keep posting more bench press content, so if you enjoyed or found this video helpful, or just want to support me, please consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up. Let's keep pushing our bench press forward. See you next time.